Hey, what's up, guys? Doing our review today on Dunkirk, directed by Christopher Nolan. We will be giving you our thoughts and review on that. So just to kind of jump straight into it, this is about the battle, well, not the battle, but the evacuation of the city of Dunkirk in 1940, which this is a town on the coastal side of France, between France and England. And basically, the setup is that all after the Nazis are invading on the eastern side of France, they're pushing the Allied forces out of France to go back to Britain. And this is basically the British and French attempts to basically get out of France
before
and so
they get hit.
And so the way Christopher Nolan approaches this film, he approaches it from like three different fronts or three different venues. He does the land, which is the entire course of the land operation is told over the course of 1 week. Then the sea and naval conflicts are done over the course of 1 day. And then everything having to do with the aerial battles and dogfights take place over the course of 1 hour. So it's this really cool way to like interconnect all the different stories and all the different plot threads together, which he does very well. In true Christopher Nolan style, he does brilliantly in this movie.
With the exact same actors from every other Christopher Nolan movie.
Well, are you saying he does that in all his other movies, or are you saying he's doing that again with this one?
Well, no, I'm saying he takes the same characters from the.
Well, yeah, I mean, but he only had like two returning actors, which was Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy. I can't remember. He didn't have his usual like Michael Caine, Christian Bale.
Yeah, why? I was wondering why. At least
Marion Cotillard.
I was just wondering why Michael Caine wasn't in this movie. But anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, he would probably been. I think he'd been really good as one of like the civilian boat captains.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that would have worked for him really well. But just to kind of dive right into it, he kind of uses a whole batch of new actors he doesn't normally work with. A lot of young talent. Talk about that a little bit, Jacob.
Well, I mean, it was useful. I mean, to use the younger actors in this. One of which was Harry Styles of One Direction fame, which he did pretty well. I actually really liked all the other younger actors. I can't place their names for the
they were. Right. I've never seen him before.
But I will say that their chemistry within the movie was very well, and I was actually really surprised of how good Harry Styles was with this being his first feature film. I mean, they all played off each other pretty well.
Yeah, because I don't think he had any he didn't go any kind of acting school. He didn't have really any acting like they probably trained a little bit beforehand, but I did really think like the movie did a good job, in my opinion, of kind of taking you to that time, because the production quality, with Christopher Nolan, it's gonna be through the roof. I felt like I was there at Dunkirk. Between the atmosphere and the tension, like you could feel the tension of the wartime, and you could feel, and I think
cut it with a knife.
And I think one thing we can kind of all agree on is that the two things that really make a Christopher Nolan movie work, I think, every single time, besides just the fact that he's brilliant and knows how to cast his film, but the way he has his film shot, you really focus on like, it's not like in like a lot of films where you are when they're shooting a film and like you can kind of pick up on like different things in the scene. Like if Christopher Nolan is shooting it and you're watching it, like he has you focused on what he wants you to be focused on. Like you were focusing on
anything off to the side or way down yonder. Just
he's got you focused exactly where he needs you to look, so you're completely engaged. You're not taken out of the movie.
Right.
And then the other great thing, that his score, like Hans Zimmer
doing what he does.
Yeah, I mean, he scored, I think, every single Christopher Nolan film, at least since Batman Begins, I think, is when he first started. But I mean, he worked with James Newton Howard on 2 of the Batman films, but as far as everything else, he's scored every single other project, and he knows how to, between the way he sets up his shots and the way the music overlays on either the action or the dialogue. Like it's always building up to a crescendo, or like how you were explaining in our non-spoiler review. It's basically how he kind of used it to set up like the tension, like when they're
when they're trying to get when two of the main characters, two of the younger actors are trying to get somebody who's on a stretcher onto one of the boats they were leaving. The music starts really low and it crescendos up and gets louder as the boat gets closer to leaving, and they're trying to get through hundreds of people. And I just really like how Chris Nolan can use Hans Zimmer's score to rack up the tension that's already there.
Right.
And the fact that Hans Zimmer's score, I actually listened to the entire score. Like I went on and bought it off iTunes, and I just listened to it from start to finish. And it's like it tells its own story. Like when I listen to a Hans Zimmer score, I can literally see like the entire movie, like it's its own character in the movie. Like it can play, you can see the scene in your head based off the music, because the music is so iconic, and you remember and register where it like was put in at.
Right.
So,
I mean,
so
for that Dunkirk, I mean, in my opinion, if they didn't have any dialogue or anything at all, it'll still be the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a perfect transition. There was like, for a Christopher Nolan film, hardly any dialogue.
Yeah, there was not. There was a lot of. Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of dialogue. I mean, it was a lot of just shots, just a lot of really good shot composition. And,
Well, it's establishing. They used
Yeah.
establishing shots and the action, and basically not subtitles, because they only fused a few subtitles to say 1940 and to say what the year was, and basically say, hey,
how everything was set
and
up.
how everything was set up. But I would say what they did with what was it? What they did with how they framed everything, like how once it got like midway through the movie and then everything started syncing up, that was like really well done, because then everything started to mesh up like almost like in sync, and it was like super good. So I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, is there anything else you want to add to this, like in terms of something maybe you liked?
I mean, just like how you said, just how they, like, once everything started to get close and started to sync up, how they, like, you would see the action, like you would see the action on the boat from the sea perspective, and then you would see it from Tom Hardy's perspective, and it was just really fun when everything started to sync up. How like you'd see something from this perspective, and you'd miss something, like when Tom Hardy's wingman crashed, but we couldn't see him like trying to struggle to get out or anything. We just see him like wave his hand, wave his hand at Tom, well,
remember, it wasn't actually in the plane sequence. You think it's him waving, but it's him actually trying to push the glass to get out, because the plane's filling up. So it like adds so much layers of context and intrigue to it. And then anything you liked, Ian?
I mean, from that scene, even from the naval position, they didn't know if he was alive or not. But they went out there to see if he was alive, and turns out he was.
Yeah, and so I think they did a really good job with this movie.
Yeah.
Anything you guys maybe didn't like?
I mean, it's a Chris Nolan film. There's really not really much I'm not gonna dislike. Not really much I'm gonna
not like.
Yeah.
No, you had it right the first time. There's not going to be anything you dislike, but I think we kind of all agreed. This definitely wasn't like in my top 3 Christopher Nolan films, but it's still definitely a really good film, and probably one of the best films of the summer.
Honestly, if we're talking about, and this is the only thing I'm gonna get off topic, my top 3 Christopher Nolan films are probably the Dark Knight trilogy. But
I mean, mine would probably be. I like a mix. I'd probably say Inception Dark Knight and The Prestige, because just they're all so different yet similar in terms of their setup and the way they lay it out. It's so good. But that's pretty much it, you guys. I would say for my score on this film, like I said, it's not his best film, but it's definitely probably one of the best films of the year that I've seen. So I would probably go ahead and give it an A-. What about you, Ian? What would you give it?
I have to give it an A- as well.
Well, looks like they're scoring 90s all over the board. I'm gonna go with an A-.
So thank you guys for watching. That was our review on Dunkirk. See you guys next time.
See you guys.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe.
And click the link in the description below to follow us on social media.
See you guys next time.